What's going on, y'all? I'm back with another one. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out when I upload a new video. So it's been about 11 days or so since my last audio episode. And I've been messing around with making some videos, still kind of new at it. So I kind of neglected the audio part for a minute, but I'm back. And shout out to everybody that's listening here in the United States and across the globe. You know, I just wanted to kind of get back to the foundation of the show, and at the same time try to put some videos with it. That way you can listen or watch whichever, suits your needs. But anyway, I wanted to talk about regrets. Regrets are a killer. Regret is the killer of dreams, hopes, and aspirations. And a lot of times, it leads to us not making or not taking risks in life. And I think it's because we get too comfortable sometimes. And I remember having an interesting conversation with somebody who recently quit working at a place where they were for after about a decade plus. And then they even admitted to themselves that, and they even told me that they got complacent. And now they're ready to kind of focus more on themselves so that they won't have any regrets in life. And the last thing that I remember from that conversation is them telling me, not to get complacent, because I guess they were looking back at all the time that they spent, and they were going back to where even their spouse was telling them about making that change. You see, we hear all the time about living a life with no regrets, or push life to the limit and live without limits. But after hearing all that, we still don't do anything about it. We stay caught up in our daily routines and tasks, and just being comfortable with where we are to a point where time all of a sudden flies by, and we're left standing there wondering, where did all this time go? But what are some of the big regrets that we end up having? So I wanted to kind of share with you some of the biggest regrets that we have in life. And one of the first ones is, having unfinished or unaccomplished goals in life. And I wanted to kind of do that one first, or talk about that one first, because there are a lot of us out here that have goals or want to accomplish things, but we often let the daily routines and tasks of life get in the way of that. For example, you may want to pursue a different career path, or even become an entrepreneur. But many people like to use excuses as to why they can't or won't do something. We'll say things like, I'm good where I am. I don't know how to start a business, or I can't afford to quit and do something else because I put so much time into where I am now. And outside of complacency, there's something else that I think holds us back, and that's fear. Fear stops us from finishing and even getting started on our goals. So how do we move away from this way of thinking? I've always said that writing down your goals, that's helpful. But beyond that, we have to make sure that we do something related to our goals each and every day, because it's going to bring us one step closer to accomplishing what it is that we set out to do. And once you actually accomplish it, you have a peace of mind knowing that you won't have any regrets about it in life, even if you fail. But if you don't do anything, then the chances of you regretting it is going to be much greater as time goes on. Now, also to tie in with that, the next big regret, which is not listening to your gut, not trusting your intuition. And I think we all know what makes us happy or what we want to do in life. And we know deep down inside what it takes to get us there. And it's that instinct that shows us the way, but we don't listen to it, and we go in a completely different direction. It's that deep intuition that we get when we're strongly drawn towards something. And what we end up doing is we end up not listening to it. And we then find ourselves stuck in careers and jobs that we hate. We end up at places where we don't want to be. And our passions, they suffer because of it. They suffer and then they fall to the side. Your intuition, your instinct, that gut feeling that you have, it needs to be heard. It wants to be heard. So check in with yourself from time to time. Check in with your intuition, your instinct, your gut. Now, this next one, I was looking at this one. What I thought about is another big regret that we sometimes can have is not spending enough time nurturing our relationships with family and friends. And I think this one's important because it's such an easy thing to fix. You know, this is like an easy one to fix. And I think we've all been guilty of this one at one point or another. And I'm pretty sure, you know, we say things like, I don't have time. But we have to remember that the relationships that we have are only going to be as good as the amount of time that we spend nurturing those same relationships. You know, I can't really give you a time frame on how much time you should spend, but even if it's just one day, you know, or one phone call a week, I think that's better than nothing at all. And like I said, it's an easy one to fix. You know, you don't want to have any regrets in the later stages or the end of your life when it comes to the relationships and bonds that you have. And finally, the biggest regret, or the last big regret, is being too self-conscious. And what I mean is that we walk around and we worry too much about what people say or think about us. And it can actually be something that holds us back. And it can hold us back from, like, you know, pursuing goals and passions. You know, there's too much focus on the outside world. And we focus so much on how everyone will react to whatever it is that we got going on or whatever it is that we're doing. But in reality, you'll realize that not as many people care about what you are doing. I mean, seriously, think about it. So we have to stop over imagining and over exaggerating things in our minds. Like I said, it's something that you know, will hold us back. We end up missing out on some great opportunities because, you know, we don't want to be viewed a certain way, or we don't want to be talked about in a certain way. So I would suggest just, you know, let it go the next time you start falling into that path, or falling down that path of over analyzing what others have to say and what they think about you. So that's been this week's episode. You know, I want to thank y'all for listening and watching, and just let me know what you think about this topic. You know, should we try to limit our regrets in life so that we're not on our deathbeds looking back and saying, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. But until next time, you know, take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Peace, y'all.